Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Mr. Hargan, for your presence here today. I think we have a great opportunity to work in a bipartisan fashion on these issues that you are addressing, and I hope we take advantage of that. I certainly appreciate your efforts to modernize the system. We know that we have some laws on the books that did not anticipate various technologies, and I would hope that we can, again, work together to address this so that we can help the American people. We heard a while back from ZocDoc, who explained that there are obstacles that stand in the way of adequately helping the American people. I know that representing a very rural constituency, issues can be a little different than more urban areas, and as services are rolled out and fee structures and so forth that might be required under existing regulations, that may not be the best business model to reach folks in more rural areas. And so we need flexibility. And when you look into the delays currently in place that stand in the way of patients receiving timely health care, I would hope, again, that we can work together to address this ultimately, I think, from certainly addressing regulations that are on the books, and I'm glad that already you and the administration are looking into that. But if you could perhaps elaborate, what is the administration's plan to account for the technological advances in healthcare relating to Stark Law and federal anti-kickback statute?
Yep. So first of all, I want to say that I'm also from a rural community, town of about 800, tip of southern Illinois, called Mounds. And I grew up underfoot in a rural hospital where my mother worked. So you can rest assured that we will have sensitivity towards the issues faced by rural healthcare providers at HHS. We take it into account. Obviously, there are a lot of challenges facing rural and remote healthcare providers that are unique to them. So we are, and again, the Stark and anti-kickback statutes also make it more difficult in many ways. It creates a special problem for areas where there are few providers that aren't actually connected with one another. In other words, when you only have one person that you can affiliate with in a community, it becomes a kind of a difficult issue to say, I can't affiliate with this person because the law prevents me from doing so. In other words, you can be driven to either remain completely isolated from anyone in the community because there are relatively few providers, or you're violating the law. So in other words, a rural community can be particularly afflicted by the Stark and anti-kickback statute as is often implemented. So that's a particular issue. With regard to, I believe you mentioned technological issues, in many cases the Stark and anti-kickback statutes create, again, a problem where people can't get access to technologies as quickly as they otherwise should be able to. And that is particularly an issue within rural communities because they often lag urban communities in being able to get access to technology as quickly and being able to implement it for the health of the people in those areas. So you have both lower quality of health, you have fewer providers, and you have more restrictions on them being able to coordinate with one another due to, in many cases, older regulations interpreting these laws.